7. High Road reporter Craig Singhas has always been a rabid Ford muscle car fan, but that doesn't mean he can't appreciate other makes of high-performance hardware. After all, fast is fast. So recently, when Craig was asked to check out some hot rod Buicks, he jumped off the line at the chance.
You know, usually when you start talking about the world of high-performance cars, you're talking names like Ferrari and Cobra, Corvette, Mustang, Firebird. You're not thinking about the cars from Buick. Well, you know what? You'd be making a mistake. You'd be making a big mistake. Okay, so the Beach Boys never wrote a song about a hot Buick. But that does not mean that the cars weren't hot. Buicks, especially those muscle cars of the 60s and 80s, were and are strong runners on the track and on the road. And they've got a dedicated band of enthusiasts who love them wildly.
We're the Mid-Atlantic Buick Performance Club, and we're unique in the fact that we feature two automobiles from two completely different eras, two performance cars, the Buick Grand Sports and the Buick Grand Nationals and Turbo Regals. Two completely different eras, two completely different performance cars based on two entirely different concepts.
Now, what brought these two different car cultures together is what sociologists might call the Rodney Dangerfield syndrome. You know,
hey, I don't get no respect.
When people think of Buicks, they think of doctors' cars, attorneys, older people's cars. The first thing that comes to mind is not the younger crowd, the sporty performance cars. Buick Grand Sport was Buick's entry into the muscle car field in the mid-60s. And the Grand Sport was basically the A-body, the mid-size body Buick Skylark, but it featured the performance engine starting with a 350 on up through fairly modified 455.
those 455 cubic inch big block Buicks came in Stage 1 and Stage 2 configurations. The Stage 2 modified cars, with their dealer-installed headers, race cams, and heads, were easily capable of quarter-mile passes in the 12s. Of course, the other half of this club's excitement is generated not by big displacement engines, but from working under pressure, the V6 Turbo Regals and Grand Nationals of the late 1980s. Wow, I'd kind of forgotten how fast these turbo cars really are. Way back in 1986, Motor Week recorded quarter-mile times of 14.2 at 95 miles per hour from a stock Grand National.
From the factory, right off the showroom floor, these cars produced about 245 horsepower. And they were in the quarter mile, they do roughly low 14-second quarter miles. And actually, they were faster than the Corvette in 1987. They were the fastest production car that GM had.
It's not a loud car, it's not a flashy car. It looks good, but it's not something you would expect. It looks more like a grandmother's car. The thing is, they're so easy to make fast. They were fast from the factory. And then to upgrade, minor modifications, easily put them in the 12s, make it a 12-second street legal car that passes emissions, still has air conditioning, and all the other options that you could have.
The modification of turbo Buicks has become a regular cottage industry. This heavily modified Grand National puts out over 1,300 horsepower and runs well into the 8-second range for the quarter mile. But whether it's big blocks or big boost, these faithful followers know that Buick is a performance name to be respected, and they intend to keep it that way for years to come.